Hey y'all, it's Stacy with SouthernBite.com. We're in the kitchen today making one of my wife's favorite desserts. This is chocolate chip peanut butter pie, and it's so easy. We're gonna start with 8 ounces of cream cheese that I've had sitting at room temperature for 30 to 35 minutes. We wanna make sure it's good and soft so that everything blends together. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. Now I like to use creamy, but you could use the crunchy peanut butter, or even I saw extra crunchy the other day if you really like a crunch. To that, I'm going to add a cup of powdered sugar. And for this step, we're gonna use a mixer because it's a little bit easier to get this all combined when you're using a mixer. Now for the second part of this, it's really hard to use a mixer because you run the risk of deflating our pie, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold in about 16 ounces of frozen whipped topping that's been thawed. And like I said, the problem is that when we add that in, if you use a mixer, the mixer will deflate it. So I just do it by hand. I just add a little bit at a time and we just fold. And we fold. And like I said, it takes some elbow grease, but it's a simple process. You just have to get in there and get it done. I've got one already done. You can see this is all combined. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of mini chocolate chips. The reason we use mini chocolate chips is we're gonna put this pie in the freezer. And anytime chocolate is frozen like that, it gets really hard. And in an attempt to keep people from hurting their teeth or breaking their teeth, we use the little chocolate chips that add a crunch without them being really hard if they were like the larger chocolate chips. So you can see I'm just folding these chocolate chips right into the mix. Here beside me, I've got a prepared chocolate cookie crust. You could use a graham cracker crust if you like, but I really like the chocolate cookie crust with this particular pie. And then it's as simple as pouring this right into our crust here. Once this is in here, you can make a little pretty dollop right on the top. Now I pop this in the freezer for about 4 hours. Some people don't like it frozen, they want it just chilled in the fridge. I find that it's a little too soft to cut and serve that way, so I always put it in the freezer and just sit it out for maybe 20 minutes before I'm ready to slice and serve it with a dollop of whipped cream right on the top. Folks, you can find this full recipe and tons more on my website at SouthernBite.com. Just visit the Simply Southern TV tab right in the menu bar. Y'all enjoy.
You know, Mary, there's this place in Mobile.
Oh, yes. And I have known you to schedule a business trip to that area just so you can get their chocolate chip peanut butter pie.
Now I don't have to drive 3 hours to get my fix. I can have it anytime. Right, Leanne?
Well, thanks to the Alabama Peanut Producers Association for sponsoring today's recipe.
Our time's up for this show, but we want you to know how much we appreciate you watching.
I hope you'll be back with us next week when we'll visit Jasper, a town that's flourishing because its citizens are investing in it.
And we'll pick up some fresh produce from the oldest member-owned farmers market in the country. And it just happens to be right here in Alabama.
Well, that's cool.
I'm Kevin Worthington.
And I'm Mary Wilson. We'll see you next week. Simply Southern is produced by the Alabama Farmers Federation and made possible with the support of Alabama Farmers